Attention parents and coaches. Do you wish you had a safe social media platform for your youth athletes? Fortunately for you, there's a revolutionary new app that helps with just that. Introducing Small Player, Big Play. Small Player, Big Play app provides young athletes, parents, and coaches a user-friendly sports social media platform. The app allows users to connect with friends, make new friends, create groups, text, chat, and post pictures and videos of you and your teammates participating in your favorite sport or activity. To begin, users can simply download and sign up for the app using an email account. Younger users have the ability to sign up using their smartphone and a parent's email address. From there, users can begin to interact and engage with other users of the app. Small Player Big Play app also gives users the ability to live stream full games and events. You can live stream your event so that friends, family, or anyone in the world can see you in action. Users can also share posts from the app to their other social media accounts like Facebook and Twitter. What are you waiting for? Get in the game and share your love of sports with the world. Download the Small Player Big Play app today.
Are you ready to listen to my dad Joe and Uncle Justin talk about sports? Now on with the show.
The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is brought to you by Mays Sandwich Shop, which have been serving the greater West Lawn area delicious food for over 70 years. You are listening to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show.
Boring.
A weekly podcast about sports since 2011.
Don't you ever get tired of being wrong all the time?
With a focus on football.
Sue, late in his career, is going to have his first Super Bowl title. Now, no wonder they want to call it Tampa Bay. Or Tampa Brady. One more snap, would you have guessed when this impossible season was trying to launch that you'd get it all in, you'd get to Tampa, and when the Super Bowl ended, the ball would be in the hands of Tom Brady.
I don't know why we ever think it won't.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have a second Super Bowl title in franchise history.
And Tom Brady doesn't pass the torch quite yet to Mahomes, does he?
No.
Even though
you're looking at the greatest right there.
Now, here are your hosts, Joe Mays and Justin Raffauf. All right, good evening, everyone, and welcome back to the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show. I'm one of your hosts, Joe Mays, and here with me, as he usually is my co-host, Justin Raffauf. And if you've been following the show of late, you know that we are playing through a Dynasty mode version of NCAA football 2014. Justin and I are co-coaching a team under the name Joey Raffauf, and we are currently sitting at, what is it, Justin? Are we 2-5?
I think we're 2-5, yeah.
2-5 with our Florida Atlantic Owls, and we are here this evening to play games 8 and 9. Up first, we are playing Texas San Antonio, the Roadrunners, and we're not really doing anything different or switching anything up, but Justin and I have decided we're not going to flip-flop offense-defense. We felt we had a good rhythm last week with me as the offensive guy and him as the defensive guy. So for at least this first game here this evening, we're going to stick with that. Florida Atlantic, Justin and I won the toss, and we elected to kick off. So Justin is going to be starting here with the kickoff team and defense, and then give way to myself. Thankfully, our camera is working this week. So, we're playing in a dome. Very, very cool. On the road, we play better on the road.
Alamo Dome.
So this is good for us all around. Camera's working. We want to thank our sponsors, Mays Sandwich Shop and Small Player Big Play. You all heard the advertisement from SPBP at the beginning of the show, and we appreciate everyone's contributions to us and in the past, present, and going forward. So, Justin, I actually have prepared some talking points here. I saw in The Athletic they had over-under wins for this coming year in the new 17-game NFL season.
Okay.
And I thought maybe we could cover that while we play our games this evening.
Yeah, absolutely.
And now that we've got the camera working this week, I can pull up our picture-in-picture so that we can watch you as we play. Maybe it was too early to talk about our how good we are on the road and how well we played last week, even though we went 1-1. So yeah, the Athletic posted their, or I think they were just reposting from one of the sports books, the over/under win totals for all of the teams. And I thought it would be just interesting to pull out some of the interesting teams, ones that we want to talk about, and then some of the top teams or bottom teams from years past, and just give our take on the predictions. Starting next month, about a month from now, we'll be in our NFL preview, because if we want to do 8 divisions, we have to start early. And our first show for that, I believe, is May 16th. So basically exactly a month from now, we'll be starting our 2021 NFL preview. And I don't think should be a shock to too many people that the team with the highest number of wins or predicted wins in the first ever 17-game NFL regular season are the Kansas City Chiefs. Now, of course, they're coming off a Super Bowl loss this year versus a Super Bowl win a year before, but I don't think anyone could argue that much and say they aren't one of the most, if not the most talented teams on paper in the NFL, even after another offseason. And we haven't even gotten to the draft yet.
Right.
All right, moving to offense.
Yeah, not a great start on defense, but it's glad to hold them to the field goal after they got the big play on one pass play. So they really had one big play there,
But yeah, holding them to the field goal is a good start. So the Chiefs are predicted at 12-5, 12 wins. If you were, we're going to talk about are we betting on each of them, and will we take the over/under? So the Chiefs are at 12. What are you feeling in a 17-game season? You think 12 wins is right on?
So that's crazy because you think 12. At 12, I'm going. Ooh.
I think, part of me wants to say over in a 17-game season.
Yeah, 13 or 4 is not out of the question. Oh man, running back caught it. Oh, he caught it and he's running. Amazing.
He's the backup, remember, because our starter is out.
Yeah, that's right.
I feel like
was the backup.
Right, yeah. I feel as though 12-5 is super realistic because in a 16-game season, you're either looking at 11-5, 12-4. I think that's absolutely doable.
Let me look at their division. I don't know. I feel like the Raiders will be more of the same, more or less. I know we're doing a preview later on, but not tonight. But you just mentioned, in a few weeks we'll start previews, and the West is usually where we start. But Raiders, I think, we'll probably be looking something similar. Nice.
I just cannot believe this quarterback.
Man, I want to believe in Denver more. I know I talk about that every year.
But he has such confidence.
See, I feel like the only team in the West that I believe are going to be better next year are the Chargers.
Yeah, I think the Chargers are going to be awesome.
New coaching staff, and the second year of Herbert. They have a potential to add a nice piece to their offense or defense, and they're getting Derwin James back, who didn't play at all.
They could be pretty good. And at some point, they've got to stop losing close games. I know that wasn't exactly the case last year. It was a little bit, especially early on. But Herbert really came onto the scene last year and did really well. I just think, I you know what? I'd probably go over because I think they can get to 13.
Yeah, I think they can go 13.
I think they I guess I should say I think they will get to 13. If I think they could get to 13.
I think I'm going over with the Chiefs. I think they're 13-14.
Nice answer there, by the way. Nice answer.
The pressure was on with we saw when we wasn't on the screen when we started the stream, but when we opened the game, the offense is 21 points better than them. So, all right, you want to kick?
Yeah, hopefully we'll get a better defensive one.
Well, he held him to field goal, so it's all good. Held him to field goal.
Yeah, we'll trade them touchdowns for field goals.
Absolutely. Every day of the week we will. So the Chiefs, 12-5, we both went over. So next up, we need to talk about the Super Bowl champs, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, defending champions of the NFL. Their win total is 11.5 from this sports book, this gambling site where The Athletic is taking this. So you're going over.
Yeah.
So you think they're going to be 12-5 or better?
Yes.
Is this going to become another Saints thing for me? I don't know, but I mean no, because we picked the Buccaneers to win the division.
It's going to be interesting because they're straight up running it back. Like,
yeah, I mean that's the thing. Like, was the end of the year more indicative of the team as a whole? Were they just getting adjusted to Arians and Tom Brady? Oh, nice tackle. To Arians and Tom Brady. Like, is this going to be what we see? Are we going to see playoff Buccaneers the whole regular season? Because if so, for sure, like the Buccaneers are better than 11.5 win team. They're definitely a 12 or 13 win team. I just can't shake off the way they started. Like, weren't they 7-5 after 12 weeks last year?
Yes, they were 7-5, and I think yeah.
My dad said we better stop while we're ahead. By the way. All right. Well, good stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll take that.
So you're going over. I'm gonna.
Yeah, because even if they aren't Super Bowl champions, 12-5 is not ridiculous for them. Like, again, not without looking at their whole schedule, but I still think they're better than the Panthers. I think they're better than the Falcons, and I think they're better than the Saints.
Yeah, I don't disagree with you, and I'm gonna cut this one close. I'm gonna go under, but I'm gonna say 11-6.
All right, I'm gonna go over.
I still think they're the best team in the South.
Right. But they also showed that it doesn't matter. Like, if they don't win the division, and if they don't, like.
Right, it doesn't matter.
Right.
But I think the Saints are taking a step back.
Unless they don't make the playoffs, they're still probably going to be favored in their opening playoff.
Right.
You know what I mean?
After what they did this past year, why wouldn't they be?
It's going to take some getting used to thinking, like, 12-5.
Yeah, I don't like it. I saw on one of my favorite websites, UniWatch, that a reader wrote in and was like, he hates the 17-game schedule, and it has nothing to do with, like health and safety and stuff like that. It has all to do with numbers. Like, it just makes sense for 16 because of how it's divided by 4 and, like, the teams in the league.
These random, like, games that they play now every year. Like, not actually random, but, like, I don't know. Like, don't get me wrong. Like, I don't want to be like. I'm a true football consumer. Like, if there's football on, I'll watch it.
Right.
I put on those, Mountain Conference games on Thursday nights. Like, now there's NFL games every Thursday night. But like the Friday night game when we get home from working the Wilson games. Like, I love when there's like a game that kicked off at like 10 o'clock Eastern. On a Friday night, because I usually get to see the second half of that when we're home. Like, I like that a lot.
No, I'm with you. I don't want to. I'll get used to this weird number stuff.
It is weird with the numbers. It's weird with the numbers.
And the jersey numbers.
Yeah.
So that's where I'm at with Tampa Bay. I don't know. They, like you said, they're definitely trying to run it back because they brought back all of their free agents, at least the notable ones. We'll see what they're able to do in the draft. It's just people want to be there and play with Tom Brady. And, I mean, do you really blame them?
No. If you were a veteran, well, even if you weren't, if you were in the middle of your career and they were offering you, why wouldn't you go there?
Right.
Like, first of all, it's Florida, right? Like, it's not as flashy as, it's maybe not as flashy as Miami, like, in terms of, like, just pure locale. But at the same time, it's not Jacksonville.
Right. No, yeah. I mean, Tampa Bay is beautiful.
Oh,
so
it's awesome.
Get to go to spring training every year.
That's exactly what I was thinking.
So, yeah. I don't really see, and I know we're going to run into this, and we'll get into it more as we discuss our previews, but somewhere, you're rather looking at 50% reduction in playoff teams because that's what the turnover is every year. And right now we're basically saying the two teams in the Super Bowl last year are probably the two teams you might favor to be there this year.
Right.
So somewhere we got to find some turnovers. some turmoil. Maybe we'll get to it, and we'll keep going through the win total. But I know, and we'll get to this soon, but I know a lot of people are going to be all over Buffalo this year. And Cleveland becoming a fancy pick.
It is.
For the Super Bowl.
Don't get me wrong. I just don't see how Connie makes them exponentially better than last year, like some people are talking about. I'm not saying they're not good. Like, I think they're good, and I think Fantasy has them on the right track. Like, those things counteract that other stuff, but like Clowney did nothing for the Titans last year.
Right.
And for Western Kentucky, they're looking to win their third straight.
So next up, tied for third. Chiefs are first at 12. Buccaneers second, 11.5. Then the Ravens and Packers were next at 11. So they're predicting 11-6 for Baltimore and Green Bay. Over and under 11 for Baltimore, Justin.
Over.
Over 11?
Yep.
Well, were they 10-6 last year, or 11-5? I'm trying to remember what they finished.
I don't remember.
I think they might have been 11-5.
But I think they get to 12. I'm not thinking I'm like crazy, but I think they're over.
So you think they're a 12-5 team?
Yeah.
Yeah, and I know people were doubting them with the way they had lost to the Titans earlier, but then they turned things around in the playoff rematch. Yeah, the Ravens are an interesting one for sure.
Sorry, I was just letting the time run out. I didn't think of it here, or I would have called it.
Oh no, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah, I feel like 11-5 is where I would be at in a 16-game season. So 11-6, I think, is even better. So I would say, well, but I would like to pick 11-6, but I'll go over and say 12-5. But they're the first of these three that I think I could see them take a step down. But the only thing I don't like about that is then I got to pick a team to step up, and I'm not high on Cleveland or Pittsburgh either. So I think Baltimore right now is probably the best team in that division.
14-3.
Green Bay, though, at 11. What about Green Bay?
All right, so Green Bay at 11. Well, in my opinion, Detroit got worse. Maybe in the short run. I think they'll be better in the long run, but they got rid of their best player.
Right.
It's usually hard to get better in the immediate when that happens. And actually lost a couple of their top players when you look at it. Marvin Jones went somewhere else, right?
Kenny Galladay, too.
Yeah.
So Detroit's definitely worse. I don't see how you don't slice it in that matter.
Right. So, let's see what else. The Vikings. Man,
who knows what to say about them?
I still can't believe they went all in on Kirk Cousins. You know, like, and let's face it, they did better.
They did better without him.
Yeah, who was the guy who led him to the NFC Championship?
Case Keenum.
Yeah, Case Keenum was the guy there. They were better with Case Keenum.
And they just were like, nope, we're upgrading.
Now, listen, I'm not saying that Case Keenum
was a long-term answer.
This was a crazy discussion, and I don't know. Sometimes we were searching for stuff later in the night, so like we can circle back to this one, but the discussion of if you could have someone have gone through their sports career without injury-free, who would it have been? And like just that like talking point, man, some of the discussions were just like it was crazy. But I think back to Teddy Bridgewater in Minnesota. Like,
oh yeah.
Well, just think if the kicker makes a couple kicks, who knows what turns out.
Yep. I was thinking you were going to say Robert Griffin for some reason, as he was linked to Kirk Cousins in Washington.
Yeah, that one. But there's lots of. We can come back to that one sometime. But it's just it was a cool topic. Like some of the names coming up were unbelievable. But like
literally.
So if we see the Bears, man, I don't know what to think of the Bears. I feel bad for Andy Dalton because I don't feel like. I don't feel like he's set up for success there, and I don't necessarily believe that it's his fault.
Right.
Um,
Well, they kept Allen Robinson, so
yeah.
you know they got that
Because
going
they
for him.
franchised him though, didn't they?
Yeah, so they have him for this
like,
year.
He didn't, yeah.
I think he signed the tender though.
Right. But like you try to sell your bill of goods as we're gonna go after Russell Wilson, and you can't pull it off.
Yeah, I feel like the North is everyone.
What was it? Is 11?
11. Yeah, 11-6.
I'm gonna put over. They've been 13. They got to 13. What, each of the last 2 years?
Yeah, and now they get an extra game to try.
Get an extra game, right? Maybe they'll actually get some help for Aaron Rodgers. I know that's a different topic altogether. I'm just kind of.
Oh, what? Why did he do that?
I'm just like.
I'm guessing that's accuracy. The guy's wide open.
Well-timed interception there. Well, they're still down by a couple. But the turnover certainly helps their chances. If they score on this
Makes me so mad.
they're right back in the game.
It's the only incompletion play.
First down,
I don't understand why that happens sometimes, but I'm certainly going over for the Packers.
Yeah, me too. I think I've gone over for everyone. That's a bit dangerous, but
I went over Kansas City, under Tampa Bay, over Baltimore, over Green Bay. So here are the Bills. They're next, 10.5.
I'm going over.
So 11-6 or 10-7.
I think they get to 11-6.
I think I agree with you, but
it's crazy though. But like I think the division's better. I think the Patriots are better than they were last year. I think the Dolphins will be better than they were last year, and I think the Jets are going to be better than they were last year. Which is not saying much for the Jets, but
right, they were very bad last year. 2-14. Not getting Trevor Lawrence though. I'm all about that. We'll see what Zach Wilson or Justin Fields can do. Yeah, I'm with you. Like 10.5. I feel like they're really baiting people there. So maybe they know something that we don't. But yeah, Cleveland. So we got 4 teams here at 10. So I'm gonna give you all 4, and you do over under for all 4 of them, and then we can talk about it. Cleveland, LA Rams, San Francisco, Seattle, all 10. So Cleveland
at 10?
10-7, over under.
I'm going to do a push.
Okay, Rams 10-7.
Over.
49ers.
Woo.
Oh man. 10-7 San Francisco, that surprises me.
I'm going to go.
They weren't that good last year.
No.
I mean, I know Bosa was injured for most of the year, but
He gets out to about the 6-yard line.
I'm going to go under, but I feel like. Well, you know what? I'm going to go under because I feel like they're going to be starting a rookie quarterback at some point, too.
all right, and then Seattle
10 again?
10. So 3
Oh, that should have been a fumble.
NFC West teams at 10-7.
Last second, trying to make a play downfield, only to have
Seattle, I'm going to go over. Yeah, I'll go over. I think they can get to 11.
All right, Cleveland, I'm going under, although I think it might be closer to push. So I'm gonna go under. I'll say 9-8. I guess I prefer 10-7, but I don't want to push. So I'm gonna go under for Cleveland. Rams. Oh boy. I feel like that's right where they're gonna be too, but I'm gonna say over for them. Although I do like that number 10.
I like the Rams this year. Oh, go.
49ers, I'm under on the 49ers. I'm not big on San Francisco. The Seahawks, I guess I say over reluctantly.
Yeah, here's the thing. I think they'll.
We'll have to see now how the offense responds this time after throwing a pick on their last drive.
They held off the Rams last year in terms of winning the division, but the Rams. the Seahawks won the battle, but the Rams won the war in regards to that. Like,
Right.
And I don't see anything that's happened so far that would reverse that. Like, the Rams, I feel like, have improved.
Mm-hmm.
Matthew Stafford, exponentially better than
Jared
whatever
Goff.
quarterback option they had.
Oh, yeah, by the end of the year, yeah.
Right. And then Seattle, like, it's just been turmoil all year. You know,
Yeah,
like,
it has been.
And I don't think adding a game is going to help that.
No.
But you never know. Like, you know what solves all that? Winning.
Right. Winning cures all, right? Ugh, I close quickly. All right, so next three are all 9.5. Colts, Patriots, Saints. I'm going. Oh boy, I'm going over for Indianapolis. I think 9.5 is low for Indianapolis.
Especially, and I don't.
I'm going under for New Orleans. I think
9.5,
they're
all
9,
right.
9-8 or 8-9. I don't see them being that great.
I think they could be a decent team, even with Jameis Winston there at quarterback. But I don't think they're built for that right now. You know, like.
Well, I guess my thing is Jameis Winston definitely going to be the guy there?
I think he is. I know they signed what's his name to the deal, but really it's a 1-year deal because they can void it after the next year.
Right. So then they come to the Patriots at 9.5. Now, what were they last year? Were they 7-9? No,
Yes.
they were 7-9.
And here's a stat for you. Bill Belichick could lose every game with the Patriots from now through halfway through the season of the 2029 season and still be above 500 for the Patriots.
Well, I don't like that. So 9.5. So you're saying 10-7 or 9-8?
I think 10-7. Well, here's the thing. That division could be brutal this year. Even, I mean, like, brutal as in, like, just everyone beating up on each other.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about the Patriots. I think they have them at an area that is a sucker bet there. I think that's a tough one.
Yeah.
I mean, the hater in me wants to say under, and I'm hopeful that that's the case, but I do feel like it's going to be over.
Yeah, I do too.
I think they're going to be better. I think last year was a bit of an aberration for Cam Newton. I know he was trending down, but I think last year with COVID and
he had no offseason with them. He got COVID during the season. Like, they had no one to work with.
Yeah,
Like,
and they still don't, so we'll see.
only got a couple tight ends.
Oh, yeah, that's true. They did go on that splurge. They were certainly throwing out the money.
They also
So
get a bunch of guys back from.
yeah, they do get a
some
bunch
of them
of guys
helpful,
back.
Some of them not as helpful. But I just feel like. Yeah. I don't want to count them out. I think they could get to 10 wins.
So we've got 5 teams at 9-8. So are we going over or under 9 wins for the Cowboys, Chargers, Dolphins, Vikings, and Titans?
Okay, first 3 I'm going over. Last 2 I'm going under.
Okay.
I think people are on to the Titans. And we've seen this where you ride like a running back a lot.
And then he just...
I love Derrick Henry, and it's fun to watch him play, but I don't know how long they're going to be able to... How long he'll be able to do that in the NFL. You know what I mean? Like, that's just... Yeah, so I'm going over for the first 3 and under for the last 2 there.
Okay. I'm going over for Dallas. Yeah, over for the Chargers. I'm so very hopeful over for the Dolphins. See, and I would say over for the Vikings, too.
See, I'm going under there.
I think the Vikings could be good this year.
They could.
I don't know why. Maybe just I thought Dalvin Cook was, when they unleash him... Oh, I kicked the ball.
No, that's not it.
I'm thinking here.
That was a big possession, by the way. Make it back to a full 2-possession game. Good, nice job.
Yeah, that worked out well. That was good. I'm happy with that.
Our sack came on the first play of the game, by the way.
Oh, did it really?
Yeah.
So the Flyers are in overtime, 0-0. Yeah, I mean, I hear what you're saying about Tennessee. Yeah,
I don't think they'll be bad. It's just
No.
like I don't think they're. Like I don't think they're.
There's no.
I think they're a borderline playoff team like they were last year.
There's no ending the season essentially in a tie. You can't be 500 anymore. So
Right.
you're either going to be over 500 or under 500. And the Titans at 9-8. If we say under, we're giving them a losing record. I really want to push on this one, just because.
A push wouldn't have been bad, but I just want.
I was gonna say the Texans are gonna be worse, which is crazy to think, but the Texans are gonna be worse. At least I believe they're gonna be worse.
No. I think the Texans are in a spot where they may be the worst team in football.
Right. And I feel like the Jaguars can only be better, but I still think they're both very bad. So the Titans should win those 4 games. Like the Titans are better than the Jaguars and the Texans. Jacksonville or Tennessee should be able to win those 4 games.
Yeah.
But I guess reluctantly I'll say under as well. Now the last one on this image are the Steelers at 8.5. Now we both think Baltimore and Cleveland are better than that. What do we think about Pittsburgh? Did we start to see the beginning of the end at the end of last season after they had won 11 in a row? They got Juju back, but they let Connor go. They don't really have an established or known running threat right now. Who knows what they're doing with the offensive line? The defense is pretty strong, and they'll be getting some injured guys back, but they just looked awful the last 6 weeks of the season. And Ben, we never know what's going to happen with him.
Right.
If he gets injured.
Yeah,
Well, they do have Dwayne Haskins.
Yeah. Well, here's the thing: if it's not going well with Ben, he's earned his way in Pittsburgh to see it through, right? Right? Or is it one of those where we've got to see what we got in Haskins because
he could be our future?
Right. We need to know if we're drafting a quarterback.
Right. So 8.5. So they're actually.
I'm going to go over. Like you mentioned earlier, the hater in me wants to pick under, but I'm of the mindset I'll believe it when I see it.
I misread that.
With them, you know what I mean? Like I'll believe it when I see it. That they're not going to be right there.
I'm going to go under, just because I can't have that many teams at 9 and 8. So
I'm not hoping you're wrong, man.
I'm saying 8 and 9 for the Steelers at this moment in time. Now Washington is next at 8 and 5, tied with Pittsburgh. I'm going over on Washington.
Yeah, I'm going over.
So I mean, maybe it's 9 and 8. I could see maybe 10 and 7. I think they're better.
Oh, I think they're better.
They got Fitzpatrick at quarterback. I know he's hot and cold and looks amazing at times and terrible other times, but I think he's good for a couple wins.
And watch, and they've arguably got the best coach in the division.
Right, we've always been very high on Ron Rivera.
Maybe he just is, I don't know. People could make a case for McCarthy, but his biggest successes were a long time ago.
So that was actually an easy over for me. I think Washington's a 9 to 10 win team.
Right.
I think that NFC East could be a 3-team race this year. And spoiler, the Eagles are not one of those 3 teams.
Yeah, shocker. Thanks, Howie.
Yeah, sorry about that. I think Dallas, Washington, and we'll get to them. The Giants, I think, are all possible 9 to 10 win teams. I'm interested to see what happens in the long run. But before we get to the Giants, because they're down a little bit, the Cardinals are next, and I feel like this is an easy one for me. 8 wins.
I'm going over.
Oh, absolutely over.
Yeah. I know Kyler kind of plateaued a little bit last season. He was nagging some injuries, and they still didn't have a ton. I mean, I know they have some offensive weapons. They went out and got Hopkins and stuff like that, but they're still building the pieces around there. I think they'll be able to do that.
All right, we got a head coach upgrade.
Okay.
Do we want game management or recruiting?
Recruiting.
Oops. All right, so we want to completely upgrade scouting so we get 100% of the true skills, or do we want to upgrade one?
I don't. Whatever.
The break the lock. Let's do the scouting, and that gives us the next level.
Okay.
So we can do some of these others that we can get some more points. All right, so we're gonna advance to the next week. So are you comfortable doing offense, defense like we have been since it's kind of worked?
Yeah, I say let's not mess with it.
All right, let's advance this week so we get to our next game. So we have improved to 3-5. We beat Texas San Antonio on the road. Now we have Louisiana Tech. Did that say at home?
I don't know.
So we're I pretty much said in the write-up, the preview, we got to win these two if we want any shot at being bowl eligible.
Yep.
So it'll be interesting to see. We're now.
Because who do we have left on the schedule?
Yeah, we'll have to see if I can pull
someone left. Like,
do we have a big team left?
I feel like we have a big team left somewhere.
So while this is advancing, we have
could be Auburn though. I could be like mistaken.
4 teams at 7.5 wins.
Okay.
Falcons, Panthers, Broncos, Raiders. So 2 NFC South teams and 2 AFC West teams.
I'm gonna go
7.5.
I'm going to go under on the first 3 and over on the last one.
Okay, I'm with you, although actually I might say under for the Raiders too. I don't see much improvement or much talent on any of those 4 teams.
I want to be wrong on the Broncos. Like, I want them to win like 9 games or so and head in the right direction.
Yeah, but I think all of them are under 7.5. Bears, Giants, Eagles, 7. So I'm gonna go over on the Bears and Giants, but under on the Eagles.
Yeah, I think so.
I mean, I could see the Eagles at, well, I don't know. I mean, of course they have it right where I probably would peg them, but I'm gonna go under and say 6-11. Whereas Giants and Bears, I'm thinking more like 8-9 or 9-8. Giants. I said I think they could win 9 or 10 games. I think that might be surprising to some people, but just think they got Kenny Golladay. Daniel Jones is entering his 2.5 technically, I guess.
But they get Saquon back.
3rd year. Oh yeah, and you're getting Saquon Barkley back.
Yeah.
Like that's nothing to sneeze at. And then you have the draft yet, so I think there's an opportunity for them there. I think the Giants could make it interesting. So, Bengals and Jaguars, 6.5.
I'm going to go over for the Bengals. Jags, I'm going to go under. I think they'll be better than last year, as in not the worst team in football. But I think 5 wins is a reasonable thing for them, like 5-12, and that would still put them under.
Right. So I'm going to say under for the Bengals, but just barely, and that's only because the Ravens and Browns are there with them.
Yeah.
So I know if we go through that sheet that you did last year, I feel like we're not going to, right now we're way off on what is possible for.
Right.
Oh, we're going to have recruits at this game, Justin.
Oh, man. Oh, no.
So we got to perform if we want to grab any of these guys. So Jaguars at 6.5. Honestly, I think that's high. I think they're going to be better this year. I feel like they have to be better this year, but like me going 7 and 10.
Here's some of the thing too. Like a lot of their stuff wasn't necessarily free agents. I know they brought in some, but like a lot of it is like they have a lot of draft capital.
Right.
That takes time. Like there's a reason why they say like, oh, you don't have like, you know, the best college teams still wouldn't beat NFL teams. You know what I mean? Like, and let's face it, a lot of those guys, Clemson, Alabama, those are where those best players are coming from a lot of times. Yeah, I just think, yeah, we'll have to wait and see. But I think the Jags will take a step up. I don't think they get to 6 wins.
No, I'm with you. I'm with you there. All right, then we should be good to go. So we're down to the last few teams. Jets at 6. So they're 2-14 last year. Are they any better?
I was gonna say push. I put them at 6. I think they're gonna be significantly better.
I think
They're
significantly better is 5-12. You know, like,
that's fair.
so I'm going under.
They're resetting the quarterback thing. So, you know.
Yep. Again.
Which I don't know that Sam
Been
Bradford
there.
was like. Not Sam Bradford.
Sam Darnold.
Sam Bradford.
I thought you
not
said
the-
Sam Reppert, and I was like, who's Sam Reppert?
So, Sam Darnold, I don't think he was necessarily like ever going to be like a top 5 quarterback.
We need 2 sacks with a linebacker.
Okay. Oh gosh.
Well, I have to run for 100 yards and throw for 250.
All right, so you're saying blitz every down. Got it.
Yeah, right.
Blitz all the linebackers every down.
Oh,
I heard you clearly.
Loud and clear. We're at home too, by the way. So. Anything else about the Jets?
No, the article that you sent me earlier in the offseason about like Salah, like one of those where you're like, this article makes me like him and also dislike that he went to the Jets. You know? Like,
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
Yes,
I hate that. Oh God, he ran into his own player. So the bottom 2 teams, and I think this is fitting: Lions 5.5, Texans 4.5, and for both of them, I'm going under.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
I think Lions are a 4 to 5 win team, and I think the Texans are a 2 or 3 win team.
Yeah, like
I
without
don't
getting
see
into
it.
too much. If Deshaun Watson is not the quarterback for the Texans,
Oh yeah, and then I think they're even worse.
right? They
They have
could be
nothing.
drafted number 1 next year.
Too bad the Dolphins don't have that pick.
I
Hey
was gonna
lineman,
say,
get out of the way.
Can you imagine if the Dolphins like made the playoffs but ended up getting the number 1 overall pick?
I've done that in Madden before. You're saying Madden's not real life? So, well, that's an early look at some NFL stuff. Justin, we don't have much to say about the Flyers. They've kind of been out of it for a bit now.
Yeah. Go.
Oh, he fumbled. Whew.
Good hustle.
Thank you, Osmain. Phillies had a nice win today. They also had a win when you were down on Friday.
Yes,
So
yes.
why don't you tell us a little bit about your first time at a Phillies game in 2 years?
Yeah, so I got to go to the Phillies on Friday night. Definitely a different experience. Only about a quarter full, or roughly. Or maybe a little less than a quarter.
There's our running back
Yeah,
hands.
he's healthy apparently.
It's not him. It's the good guy.
But yeah, it was a lot of fun. They scored 6 runs in the second inning, I think.
Yep, second inning.
Yeah, it was a good time. Zach Eflin pitched really well. I thought it was to sum it up, like it seemed like everyone was kind of of the mindset, like oh, that's how this is gonna work now, but I get to be here.
Right.
Great. Like I didn't see issues with masks. I didn't see issues with like distancing. I didn't see I didn't witness any of those issues. Like when I think about it, like I spent the entire time there, and the only people that like I was quote unquote like in close contact to would be the people I went with. You know what I mean? Who like my
Right.
dad. So
The ones that you actually
right.
like.
Right. I've already been in close contact. So like I don't. I think I said it to you in the text. Honestly, the best thing I think I could say about it was like, at no point did I feel uncomfortable. You know what I mean? Like, which says a lot about like all the things they've thought about and gone through and done all those things. And I hope it continues to be successful in that regard. From a game standpoint, it was awesome. Like it was just so cool to be back and to be
see a
there,
win,
and to get to see them win, get to see the offense,
offensive firepower.
wake
Yeah.
up, and I'll tell you what. Bryce Harper he went like 1 for 3 or 1 for 4 with a double in that game. He had 2 balls that 2 weeks from now, when it's not like the wind was blowing probably 15, 20 miles per hour in, they both would have been monster home runs. And I said to my dad, I was like, I don't care if you only got 1 hit tonight, because he ripped a double too. I was like, he keeps hitting the ball that hard, it's going to be a great season for him. And
He had a great game today.
Yeah. So, Like, he keeps hitting the ball that hard, good things are going to happen. And saw JT rip one through the wind, like 19 rows deep. It was a lot of fun to be back. It was great. And yeah, real exciting. I was glad to get to experience it. And like I said, honestly, I feel like they did everything really well. Space and cleanliness and all that stuff.
Do you know what the number they're up to? Is it 8,000?
I think it was 8 to start the season, but then when they went to like the next step of reopening or whatever, I think I think it's 10 something.
They calculated it differently or whatever.
Yeah, I think it went up a few percent as to what they could have. Like, no, I don't know that that's what was there on Friday, but I think it was over 10. But honestly, it doesn't. What's weird is it probably. If I would have gone to this game 2 years ago, you would have been like, "Oh my gosh, there's no one here." You know what I mean? But in reality, you're like, "Oh, that's the biggest crowd I've been around in a year and a half."
Flyers lost in overtime, by the way.
Sounds about right.
So nail in the coffin. Well, they got 8 games left or something like that.
Yeah.
Another disappointing season. Really, really frustrating and upsetting, but it is what it is. So, yeah, I mean, you said it today. You know, I know it was frustrating. Phillies start 5-1, and then they go on a streak where they go 1-5, and they're hovering around 500. With the win over the Cardinals today, though, they're 9-8, right?
Right.
So you know,
I think they're 8-7.
Oh, sorry, 8-7.
Yeah.
So they're tad over 500. But what did you tell me in text?
Yeah, I think that this pace would get them to, I think, 86 or 87 wins.
Which is right around what we talked about at the beginning of the year.
Where we pegged them. And honestly, I think that's going to put you in the hunt for a playoff spot.
Right. So, you know, would we want them to get to 90? Obviously, we want them to get to 90 wins. They're going to have to avoid those 1-5 slumps.
Right.
But, you know, you just need to win 2 out of 3, and that's what they did against the Cardinals. You win 2
exactly.
out of 3, you're gravy. So, you know, I'm excited.
They're not going to fake it here.
You know, I'm still excited. You know, there's frustrations. At least we don't have to deal with having Jacob deGrom and never scoring runs for him.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's the thing. Like, so they avoided him on Thursday because of the freezing rain in New York.
Oh my God.
And I was like, you're right. The Phillies probably would have struck out like 15 times, but they probably would have pulled him, you know, in like the 6th or 7th inning, and then the Phillies could have won against the bullpen. Like, oh my gosh.
It's like watching our team last year.
How about Aaron Nola today, man?
He was on fire. I didn't realize this was his first ever complete game shutout.
Yeah, well, kind of.
Oh, kind of? There's an asterisk here?
Well, I shouldn't say that. I don't know that it's his first complete game. So he has 2 other complete games. I don't know if either one was a shutout. I think one might have been, but they both came in double headers last year.
Oh, 7 innings.
Right, there were 7 innings. And so he says, he's like, they don't count, that doesn't count. And they're like, Aaron, it goes into stuff. He's like, I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't count. Like, but yeah, he looked really good today, which is awesome.
Yeah.
And that's the thing. If he pitches like that,
we needed 2018. Aaron, when was he like 3rd in Cy Young or something? Was that 2018?
I think so. So like, if he pitches, not even if he pitches like he did today, they're going to do really well. But if he can pitch close to that, and if Eflin can pitch close to what he did the other night, like that's you got to win those games. Tomorrow they'll have the 5th starter going. I think.
Tomorrow's not Wheeler then?
No, because it
got messed up with everything.
Thursday start, I think. Like, but they were talking. So now they have the 4 and 5 starters split up, which is great. But they're like, it is going to be hard to gain momentum off of Nola's wins right now. But the nice thing is, you didn't use any bullpen pitchers today, so they should be all available.
Another day, yeah, everyone should be available. So
because if you can win that first game, and they're going against the Giants, it's Gabe Kapler's first game back.
Yeah.
By the way, Friday night was the first time in like 500 some days I think they played somebody outside the East Division.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because they only played East teams last year.
Right. Yeah, I didn't even think about that.
And they talked about for Nola, I think 35 of his 45 career starts have come against East teams or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah. But you think like almost the whole month of September now in baseball, it's almost all division games.
Right.
So yeah, it was good to take him from the Cardinals. I knew a bunch of people that have been down this weekend by the games. Like I said, I knew people Friday, obviously. I knew some people that got down Saturday. A Cardinals fan, to be exact. And I knew
That's
some people,
well, they
some
saw a
people
win
down.
for them.
Yeah,
So.
yeah. So. Yeah, win 2 out of 3. You know, stay a couple games above 500. That puts you in a good spot. We talked about it. Let's see them. So if they made it the first couple weeks. Let's see if they can get a couple more and still be above 500. Maybe add a game or 2 above 500. Nice.
That's 2 for him. Is he shushing them? Oh man, I can't wait for the next version of this game to come out. It's gonna be so good. I looked in again to getting that college football revamp.
Oh yeah.
Playing this game, but with updated graphics and uniforms and stuff, which I thought would be really cool. Didn't pull the trigger because you have to get a modded Xbox, and I'd have to figure out. Oh, what the heck? XX.
Yeah, ran our guy over.
We did. Yeah, I'm interested to find out more information. I'm hoping maybe this summer they'll do like a 1-year teaser and be like, yeah, we're coming back for 2022, which I guess they would call 2023. I always hated that they did it that way.
Yeah, me too.
It just didn't make any sense.
Oh. It's kind of like when we are always trying to figure out when we're doing stuff for the Wilson people. Well, they're a class of this, but
yeah.
they're
Oh yeah, I know that bothers me too.
Football this.
Yeah, I always. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. It's so confusing. Unnecessarily confusing. The same thing with like Super Bowl. Like if you use the year and not the Super Bowl, like what year are you the champion? Are you champion? Like are the Eagles 2017 world champions or 2018 world champions? Because there's the 2017 season, but the Super Bowl was played in February 2018.
Oh gosh.
Blitz all. Engage 8. Oh.
Makes it out to about the 43.
So, Sixers holding on to that 1 seed.
Yeah, a couple big wins this week.
And Brooklyn not getting great news with the recent signee LaMarcus Aldridge retiring for health and medical reasons.
And Durant left the game.
Durant left the game. So if the Sixers can hold on, now I don't know how many games they have left. Was it probably about 12 or something like that?
Sorry, what was that?
I'm trying to think of how many games the Sixers have left in their season.
I feel like it might be like close to like 18, but I'm not
Oh, really?
sure.
Is it that many?
I could be wrong there.
Let me just pull up their schedule here. I know they always have a little bit more than NHL. They're always like 3 weeks behind or something like that. Let's see if I can. Yeah, here we go. Okay. And I know they started late. And what do you know? What is the number?
72 for basketball.
72 for basketball.
Yeah. So they took 10 off this year.
Yeah, you're right. They have, I think, 16 games left. If I can quick count this here.
So they may be going for this here. So.
Field goal. That's another thing that bothers me in this. Other than like the wacky interceptions, their field goal kickers, like all the computer field goal kickers.
Do you want me to take a timeout?
You can.
The Owls will use their first time out of the half.
I know I probably should have done it sooner, but also
So
I didn't think they were. I thought they were going to go for it.
So the Sixers host Golden State and Phoenix, play at Milwaukee twice, then host OKC and then Atlanta twice, at San Antonio, at Chicago, at Houston, host New Orleans, host Detroit, at Indiana, at Miami, and then 2 against Orlando.
So they've got some tough stretch. I know they're in a tough stretch right now. They played the Nets and beat them this week. Now I know
They've won 4 in a row.
Durant didn't play, and
Yeah, their top
Harden didn't play.
3 guys
Kyrie
didn't play.
played, but the Sixers were without 2 starters too. And then, or maybe that was for the Clippers. The Clippers game they had a couple.
Ugh.
The Clippers game, Kawhi didn't play, but the Sixers I think were down 2 starters as well. But the big names for the Sixers played.
Next time he should just throw it away out of bounds.
Yeah, all right. So here you go.
From their own 34-yard line.
Should Embiid be excluded from the MVP conversation because he misses too many games?
Oh, he dropped it. Well, but it wasn't everyone all over LeBron after he got injured, and now LeBron is injured. So, where are we going next?
So, Nikola Jokic, the kid from Denver, is having a historic offensive year. He really is. Like, historic offensive year. But, like, hasn't missed a game. Like, I don't know that he's missed a game.
Do you want to punt?
Plays 70% of their minutes. Like, he is having a great year. Like, it's not.
I don't see how you can rule him out, but like I understand, but MVP and dominance is dominance, and when he's been healthy and playing, he's been the best player on the court.
Right. Glad they didn't block that.
Yeah. So, but it looks like for the Sixers, after they get through the 2 road games at Milwaukee, things open up and are a little bit easier.
Yeah.
Especially because they got 3 at home.
And I'm telling you, that 1 seed would be huge in my opinion. Just
yeah, like you said, the last couple weeks. To not have to beat Brooklyn and
yeah, hopefully it works out that way where you only have to play one of those, Brooklyn or Milwaukee, not both. Or even if it ends up being like the Heat in there, you know, but you wouldn't have to play. Oh my gosh! You wouldn't have to play the 2 and the 3. You'd only have to play one of them.
Right.
You know?
So, yeah, I mean, with the Flyers falling, the Sixers are the focus of team attempting to chase a championship at this point. It's still very early for the Phillies. There is some spring college football going on. We saw a crazy play from the Villanova offense at the end of yesterday's game.
Yes.
With the Villanova quarterback pulling off essentially something you see in a video game, but it's a glitch. You know, the quarterback is like diving and getting tackled. And then as he's flipping to the ground, but before he touches the ground, he just tosses the ball. And of course, their guy catches it for a touchdown. You have to rewatch it multiple times to see.
Yeah, well, the first time I saw it, I was like, wait, what happened?
Yeah, I showed it to Kelly today, and she was like, wait, I don't understand.
Right.
I was like, well, watch the quarterback and the ball. She's like, oh, I didn't even see the guy catch it. I just saw the ball fly, and I thought it went out of bounds. So we are in the 3rd quarter of our game here against Louisiana Tech, and our FAU Owls, coached by Joey Raffauf, lead Louisiana Tech 14-0, and if Justin and I can hold on in the second half, we'll be only 1 game away from 500 and 2 games away from bowl eligibility.
Yeah,
so
there's a big second half for us here.
Yeah, so we're going to have to figure out what's going on schedule-wise because with having to start our endeavor here 2 weeks later than anticipated, we're into crunch time because next week on the show, believe it or not, we're due for another Bulldog Hour.
Oh, wow.
Which is our spring update. It has been 2 months. Yes! Go, 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 go. Get it? Yes! We're due for a spring Bulldog Hour update. It's been 2 months since our winter update that we had with Paul Roberts. That was a lot of fun. I don't know of a lot of stuff going on with Wilson football, so we're going to have to figure something out. I don't really want to delay it because I want to talk high school football, so we'll have to figure out what we're going to talk about there. And then less than 2 weeks from now, or I should say a week from this Thursday, is the start of the NFL draft, and Justin and I are going to do our weekly show that night and cover the first round like we did last year, which was a ton of fun. I'm looking forward to doing that. So that'll be our next broadcast for the Joe Meeks and J-Raff show. But obviously, if we're watching the NFL draft and talking about it live, we're not going to be playing the game. But then we're off for 2 weeks. Since we're doing a show Thursday, we're not doing a show the first Sunday in May. And then the second Sunday in May is Mother's Day, so we're usually off that Sunday as well. And now we're at May 16th. And I don't think we want to wait almost a month between games and this, so we'll have to figure out what we want to do to end this year one of our Dynasty mode. We'll be 9 games in after tonight with, I guess, do we have probably 3 more? Do we have 3 more games then? We have to look at the schedule. Because I don't know how many games these teams play. If it's 12 or 13, is there a league championship game? I don't even know.
I don't think there is one for this league, at least at this time, but I could be wrong.
Well, I did do the custom conferences and try to align everything as it is now. Of course, there are some lower level teams that are not in the game. Nice. So what I'm saying is Justin and I have to figure out how to play these games not on the show, or at least as regularly scheduled. And I don't even know if that'll be possible. So we'll figure it out. We'll see what's going on. But next week is Bulldog Hour on April 25th. And then we have our NFL Draft Show on April 29th. All right. We're continuing to perform here tonight.
Yeah, 3 sacks in this game by the left end.
So. Well, we have to show up for the recruits, remember?
That's right.
So I got to see where we're at statistically. I need to get to
a pick 6.
Yeah, that's great. 100 rushing yards.
Underwood fields it at the 40. He's taken down.
Oh, did your cornerback get injured on that pick 6? Because he's the normal punt returner, I thought. Maybe he's just a kick returner. I don't know. I need to get some rushing yards here with our starting running back. Let's see where we're at. I'm sorry. I mean, I don't know if it's just the opponents that we're playing now, but I like this running back better than the starter.
No, I agree.
So we might, when that guy comes back healthy, we might have to make some changes. Have you ever had that happen where you're down, but like it lets you keep playing? I've done that once before, and I've run for a touchdown.
All right, so to go back.
Yeah, let's go.
Who would be an athlete that you're like, man, they called it the what if, but what if they would have never had, and that's not to say Knicks here and there, but like if they never would have had like their career-altering injuries, like.
Right.
And man, like some of the names that just come to mind, like
right
away.
Bo Jackson.
Yeah, Bo Jackson was there. And there's like that was one. Like
that's the beauty of running play action against
part of it I was thinking was like, well, what about Embiid? Like, what if a kid that didn't start playing basketball till like high school, and then it is still developing as a pro and just
getting better every year.
But there are some of those other ones, like, so I think, like, what about Ken Griffey Jr.? Like, does he have a legit shot at the home run record, if that's the case? And some of these are, like, I remember their injuries, but I don't remember how much time they missed and things like that. We've talked about this one before, but, like, maybe what about Lindros?
Yeah, the concussions.
But there are just so many. Yeah, somebody said like Penny Hardaway, but like the names that were coming out were just a list of like, oh my gosh, you're right, I forgot about so, you know what I mean? Like, it was a cool conversation to have.
Yeah. Big play there, and now they're looking at 1st and goal.
107.
I need to get him in the end zone now.
Okay.
To show off for that running back.
Yeah.
Because he's a 75 overall. That'd be a big get. That's probably a 4-star, don't you think?
Probably.
Oh, it's the backup.
It is.
All right. Well,
I hate when that happens.
I know. I need to get the ball back.
Yeah, but it wasn't all him. The offensive lineman just pancaked the defense on that one. And he hits the PAT.
All right. Well, I think it's safe to say we got this one in the bag.
Yeah, we should.
If we blow a 28-point lead with 4-minute quarters, there's something worse going on. We're not very good at all.
He kicks it off, and he got all of that one.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I'd be interested to hear anyone who's watching what injured superstar they would pick. I feel like the ones that come to mind are going to be the football players for the most part. I do think about some of those quarterbacks. And Bo Jackson, I feel like a huge one. That one's just hanging out there. I don't know. Man, he likes to tuck and run, huh?
He's to the 40.
Oh, I thought he fumbled for a second. The camera changed.
Yeah, you keep cheering.
Yeah, keep cheering down 28-0 to start the fourth quarter. You gotta love it. Gotta love it.
Not sure there's any hope for a comeback here in the fourth quarter.
Well, you wouldn't think so. I'm still playing my Penn State Dynasty
Nice.
on my quest for 100 straight wins without a loss on All-American.
There we go.
So, and that sounds ridiculous, but I don't win by a lot. This isn't me winning on freshman and veteran or whatever, freshman and senior or starter or whatever the heck they call varsity, I guess it is. These games are usually within 7 to 10 points, so hence why earlier when we were getting adjusted here with a much less talented team, it took us a few weeks to get our.
It took us a little bit.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, maybe if we eventually win national championships, we could bump it up to Heisman if we have the patience to play for that long. It would help if we could play more games at a time, but we're limited in the amount of time we have to do this for some reason. I don't know what it is, though. Who knows? So.
I assume they're gonna punt, even though they're down 20-0. 12 minutes left.
You would think, yeah. 4th and 18 in their own zone. Some people would probably be like, "Why are you punting? You're down by 28." But are you gonna score 28 points? I don't.
It is him, so maybe he was just out.
Yeah, he must have been gassed. He was still tired from his pick six.
Yeah.
Out the stretch here. You want to get experience for guys who normally don't get in the game and try to avoid injuries. Florida Atlantic looking to add to this big lead here. And he's tackled that for positive yardage. They need about 3 yards to get the first here on 2nd down.
Don't look now, but we're coming for you. Oh, you juke too much.
Around the 47-yard line.
Ooh, Alabama LSU is a good game. Shocker.
I was gonna say, some things literally never change.
Although, didn't we see Alabama lose to a crappy team when we were talking our first game? We were like, well, Alabama just lost, so silver lining.
He's at the 30.
Oh.
Finally knock him out at the 17-yard line.
Hey, maybe I'll get to 200. I'm still 47 yards away.
I was gonna say the problem is they'll probably take him out.
They'll take him out, right?
From the 17-yard line. First down.
He is out.
That's all right. You can get it down, just not.
The 10. Around the 7-yard line.
Speaking of out.
Key blocks and was able to turn it into a 10-yard gain.
So I know we've talked about this a bunch, and literally nothing changes, but everyone else is still talking about it. What's going to happen at 3 in the draft?
Decent pickup.
I think they're going Trey Lance. I honestly do.
You think they're going Lance?
I think
See,
they're
I was gonna. Well, are we absolutely 100% convinced that Zach Wilson is going to?
No. But I think he is.
First down, and they've got their
So here we go.
on that goal line.
I defer to, like, as long as he wasn't, like,
And he's
lying.
taken down at the 1-yard line.
Like, Schefter sent Wilson a text when they traded Sam Darnold saying, "Welcome to New York." Like, I feel like he wouldn't do that if he, not just, like, beyond his belief. You know what I mean? Like, I feel like he does that almost like on the...
Get in! Come on!
Go for it. Oh, it's still third.
It's third.
Okay. He's going to get pulled here. And, like,
It's third and goal. Ball on the 1-yard
is
line.
he in?
All the big boys are on the field now. Both teams have their big sets out there.
There you go.
Florida Atlantic. Well, another score here late in the fourth quarter, but all it does is add to the blowout. This one's over.
Yeah, buddy. Take that.
That's right.
We can beat Louisiana Tech.
Play,
We can beat
63-yard drive.
Texas San Antonio.
Boy, this
Don't ask us to beat Miami, Florida, or Auburn. At least not yet.
And it's opening up some nice big lanes for the running back.
They line up to kick this one away. He just drills this one. He's to the 20. They'll bring him down at the 29-yard line. The Owls have a deep.
Come on, we need that shutout. That'll look great to all the recruits.
I know.
5 sacks, interception with the pick 6.
The linebackers, the safeties, the corners, everybody plays as one, and they've been fun to watch today.
I don't expect any once-in-a-lifetime rallies here, but that being said,
That would be one heck of a rally. 35 points in 1 minute.
tackle made at the 37.
All right, so we have 50 seconds left in the game. We're going to start to wrap things up here. Like I said, I went over the schedule already. We'll see if any of that changes. Justin and I will have to talk about it over the next week of what's going to happen. But we've been having fun playing this. Hopefully you've been having fun watching, and we've been trying to still talk like we would normally be doing on our weekly show. And we're deep in the NFL offseason here with the draft now. Under 2 weeks away. It's 11 days away from right now. So it'll be interesting to see what happens there. Justin mentioned who's going 3. I guess I still feel like I don't know. I really don't know. I think it could be any of them. It had been Mac Jones I think everyone thought it was going to be Justin Fields. Then it went to Mac Jones. Now I feel like it's back to Justin Fields.
Right.
I feel like they're passing up too high of a ceiling if you don't take Fields at 3.
I agree.
Because I feel like you can find someone like Mac Jones late. Like, I don't think he's a premier talent. Maybe he's safer.
Right.
But at 3, you don't want safe. You want someone who makes a huge impact. And I feel like Fields is the guy that could get to that point. Now, maybe Mac Jones becomes someone that is... Maybe he's like an Alex Smith type guy, And that's not a dig at Alex Smith.
Right. But do you trade up to 3 for that guy?
No. But, I mean...
Saying that Alex Smith went number 1 overall.
Right. It's true. But, Trey Lance also, oh, man, Trey Lance at 3, so I'm saying Justin Fields is
There you
number
go.
3.
Okay.
I'm going Justin Fields at 3. And then it comes to Falcons-Bengals, which I don't like. Do the Falcons decide that they're going to start to look to the future and the life after Matt Ryan? I hope they take Pitts so that Miami doesn't have to take Pitts. Which, again, I know sounds crazy because people think Pitts is amazing, but I'm not sold. I hope the Falcons take Pitts or a quarterback because that just means that Jamar Chase stays available. That's who I want Miami to take at 6. Of course, he's got to get past the Bengals and former teammate Joe Burrow.
Oh, my gosh.
9 seconds left. 9 seconds. This is like watching a Wilson blowout that the 4th team gives up a touchdown and the guys don't get pizza for a shutout.
It's first down, and they'll be looking for 6 points here.
Oh, come on.
He's going to run it.
I'm blitzing everyone. Oh, two guys ran into each other. See them? They like decked each other in the backfield.
6 seconds to go. So disappointing. There you go. The La Tech guys got their the computer ratings boost for the last drive that we always talk about.
Do you want to return the kick?
Oh no, you can do it. It's fine.
Do you think they'll onside it?
Yeah,
yes.
I think they will.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Why wouldn't they? They could have just ran out the clock. So, in one of my Penn State Dynasty games, I fumbled on one of those.
Oh, gosh.
And you know what's even crazier? You know what his name was?
What?
Joe Mays. And I did grade him.
So I told you I have a 54 linebacker Mays on my team, on my Florida Atlantic team.
Well, that's good. I have a Joe Mays on my Penn State team, and I didn't make him, and he fumbled an onside kick. So you got that. So, all right. Well, that's it for us this week. We hope everyone enjoyed. Justin and I winning not 1, but 2 games to improve our record to 4-5 in our NCAA Football 14 Dynasty. And
that was our first one where we won both games.
That is the first time we won both games.
Streak.
Got a winning streak going. We won 3 out of 4.
Yeah.
And we
With our
played.
only loss being to Auburn there.
We played Auburn tough too. So,
yeah.
Again, we appreciate the support of our sponsors, Small Player Big Play, and May's Sandwich Shop. Make sure you check them out on the App Store or on the web, ordermaze.com. Again, Small Player Big Play, the Scholastic Sports Youth Sports streaming app is available on Apple and Google app stores. That's it for us. Justin, you want to advance the week or check out our schedule before?
Did you need to do recruiting?
No, it's done.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
But that's it. So Justin and I will be back. We're technically not supposed to do this show until the NFL draft on Thursday, April 29th. If that changes, just check out our social accounts or on the web at jmnjrradio.com. For Justin Raffauf, I'm Joe Mays. Thanks for listening to episode 332 of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show.
That's a wrap on this episode of the Joe Mays and J-Raff Show, brought to you by May's Sandwich Shop. Woo-hoo! You can watch each weekly episode live on Facebook, Periscope, or YouTube. Be sure to like, follow, or subscribe to the show on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, and Google Play. You can also rate and review us on many of these platforms as well. We'd love to hear from you. Send your emails to the Mays Sandwich Shop inbox at joemaysandjraff@gmail.com. The Joe Mays and J-Raff Show is a part of the JMNJR Radio Network, home to other productions such as the Bulldog Hour, Tangents with Friends, and Nat Chats with Dad. Until next time.